Coastal Crew podcast in the studio. We've got a full house tonight, fellas. We've got Big Rig Haley.
Whoa!
Big Rig Bailey Herwig.
Thank you, mate.
Sorry about that, mate.
That's
to apologise. We got Goody Goodsall, boys. Round of applause. He's back in the studio.
Yeah, Goody. How are you, mate? Welcome back.
Thanks, guys.
Our sunny coast man. And then we got Lachie Cain. Remember his name.
Yep.
He's going into the Hall of Fame.
For what?
And then Matty Haynes, the Hayne plane.
How are you, fellas? Hey, Lockie, how are you, mate? You good?
Very well, mate.
That's good.
Fellas, good to see you, as I just said. But how good? Round one complete for rugby league.
All done and dusted.
All over.
Now
It's in
we've
the
all
books.
got different teams here in the studio. We've got Lachie Cain, obviously the Bronx fan, as well as Goody. And then we got the Cowboys with Bailey, mate. Your Roosters, obviously, in Vegas got up, and the Finns did not go well on the weekend. I'm going to throw it straight to the boys. Lads, all the Queensland teams, obviously apart from Cowboys, Dolphins, poor showings, really, from, I'd say, Broncos, and then Titans got flogged at home. What do we think on that start with the Queensland teams?
Not a good one. They were all pretty poor. I mean, the Cowboys got the win, but I think even as a Cowboys supporter, Bailey would agree they could have played better. But I mean, especially in the first half.
Okay, no,
But
I was a bit disappointed with our goal line defence. That was pretty soft. And if we actually had a half-decent attack and the Dolphins had halves, then we might have struggled.
yeah,
But
The
the
Dolphins
Dolphins
had-
so bad.
If the
The
Dolphins
Dolphins
had
look
like
horrible.
footy brains at all. But in all fairness to the Cowboys, they did put, what was the final score?
43.
43-18.
They
Yeah,
still
so that's a big win.
managed. They
That's a big
still
win.
managed to absolutely smack the Finns.
Yeah.
Oh, they looked a lot better than they did round one last year. That was good. Our two centres were unbelievable.
Oh.
Val Holmes and the Bundy boy, Zach Labert. They were just unreal. Looked like, Val hasn't skipped a beat and Labert was born to play first grade is what it looked like. But
That first try.
how good was it? That was
Yeah.
right. You and I, Lockie, were both at that game.
Yeah.
That happened right in front of us. Like, it was where we were sitting. He's coming running down our way and just hits him with the big fake flick pass. The crowd was going nuts. Like, or even the Dolphins fans were like, that was class. So it was a really good showing. 5 tries in that first half was pretty good to watch.
I think
then,
as well, like out of all the Queensland teams, I'd say the Broncos are under the most pressure. But Cowboys are also one of those sides who really need to perform this year. They had a good team last year, have underperformed. They, were top 4 the year before. They sort of dropped off. But who impressed you the most from the Cowboys on the weekend? My personal favourite was Tommy Dearden. I thought he
was
started
good.
well. He's quick. He's elusive. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think Tommy Dearden was probably the best Cowboy in the field, and he's started well as captain.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It was his first game captain. Him and Ruben Cotter. They were both good, but I still think our centres were our best players. I think Val was our best player. He is just... honestly, people may not like this, he made Herbie look like a reserve grader, in my opinion.
Wow.
I reckon
That's
he made
huge.
Herbie look
Wow.
silly. Have you seen, his stats were unreal.
Yeah.
Herbie was his opposite centre. That was, and honestly, I know it's not just Herbie, but I reckon he made Herbie his little puppet on the weekend. And Zach Labert was just, it was one of his first games at first grade. He was unbelievable. So I reckon it was their centres, but everyone was pretty good. What about you, Haynesy? What do you think?
I actually didn't watch much footy over the weekend.
Okay.
I was
Moving on.
Roosters played. Doesn't need to watch this weekend.
I was away all weekend. I did manage to watch a Host Plus Cup game between...
Host Plus?
Yeah, Host Plus. What did I say? Hot Plus.
It wouldn't be a
Plus.
Coastal Crew podcast without Matt stuffing up the Sunday.
Yeah, sorry.
So you went away, so do they not have TVs where you go? Is that why you didn't watch any footy?
No, I was up at Ipswich on Saturday, watched that game, and then
Ipswich,
it was
they don't have TVs.
it was straight up to Sandstone Point to watch the Red Hot Summer Tour as a music concert out there, and
I did see that. How many Canadian clubs got attacked?
for legal reasons I cannot disclose that. But
a few.
But it wasn't as much as what I thought it would be. $14 a can, boys. Like that's a rort.
That's a
$14 a
He's
can.
better off buying a new TV and watching the footy in Ipswich.
So no, we mum and dad took the caravan away and we stayed with them, and yeah. So I watched the first round. I watched the first game actually. I think it was Friday night. I think it was. I can't remember what game it was.
You're all over the
No,
joint.
yeah, I know.
Raiders upset the Knights
Well, that's
Thursday.
right.
Oh,
Yep, I watched that
actually,
game.
let's go through it.
Yeah.
I was disappointed with the Knights.
So disappointed. with
I
the
think
Knights.
the week before or during the week, we did have Bailey really come out in full flight supporting the Knights, saying they'd knock the Raiders over, mate. What happened there?
Oh, dude, the Knights were so poor. I reckon they went for a bit of a game plan. They tried to not give Kalen Ponga the ball, and I think they're forgetting Kalen Ponga's on like $6 million a year, and there's a reason for that. So they just tried to like go away from it because they were probably anticipating the Raiders were going to like target him, and they thought, no, we'll just get it out of his hands, and he's the reason that they're a good team. So I think against the Cows this week, they'll go back to that, and they won't be anywhere near the side they were round one. They never won Thursday night at home. Fun fact. Never, ever won.
Wow.
Thursday
Really?
night at home.
That's
Never.
a poor stat too.
Wow.
I mean, come on. You know, at home, Thursday night footy, you're expected to win at least.
How often do Newcastle play on a Thursday night, though? They're not often the Thursday night.
Not
as
often.
much as every other team.
But they get
And if
good
they do, it
crowds.
would often be away to Sutton Corp.
Wasn't it like
yeah,
20
it wouldn't be too much, but
23,000 or something now on a Thursday night?
Oh,
it's pretty
Decent.
good
That,
for a
I think it's,
Thursday.
yeah.
Full respect to Newcastle. They always
Yeah.
got a good turnout. But, lads, one thing, we'll go through the scores. So, Raiders beat the Knights 28-12. That's an upset, in my opinion.
Yep.
Completely.
Massive.
Another upset again. Playing at home was not the round for it, in my opinion. Sharks upsetting the Warriors 16-12. Lachie Cain during the week, what was it? Quote?
Warriors to put 40 on the Sharks. I was close. I was close.
were close.
If you watch the first 20 minutes of the game, you think I'm a genius. But unfortunately, didn't come true. You can't get them all. You can't get them all.
That's a huge upset. I mean, I'm personally... look, Melbourne have never lost a round one game under how many years?
21.
21
Yeah.
or 22.
That was a scrappy,
shock.
scrappy
That was a
but really solid game from them. Like to come away with any win against Penrith in round one, still a great effort.
I thought Penrith were a bit stiff to not score in the second half. They looked really good. They just couldn't get over the line.
Melbourne's defence was top notch. Unreal.
I think that's something I would have really worked on going into the game is knowing that, look, could we probably out-attack Penrith? No, because, you know, Munster's still out, all these players are still out. But how are we actually going to grind away at Penrith? And it was going to be through defence.
They just
And I think
frustrated them. They do what Melbourne used to do. Like, they
Yeah.
frustrate teams. And Penrith just... They should have got over. You're right, Lockie. They should have got over a couple of times, but they just couldn't. 0 points is wild.
That's a great way to start the season for a young forward pack at Melbourne as well.
Yeah.
Look, no surprises here personally. Para at home, 26-8 over the Bulldogs.
Dogs are shit.
I think that's the only real favourite win for the round.
Next one, this one's another shock. Dragons over the Titans at home for Gold Coast, 28-4.
Yeah.
Smashed
I mean,
them.
looking back on it, it's not as big as a shock as everyone probably thought. I mean, the Dragons put a lot of work in. Flanagan wanted to get them off to a good start, and the Titans were missing 3 or 4 big names.
They
No
were.
Kieran Foran, no David Fafita.
You're right.
But they
yeah.
still, to me, the Titans didn't play at a level where they
No,
really should
they
be there for
didn't
round one.
play as well as they
Disappointing.
should
I'll
have.
tell you what, Tino, he works so hard for just nothing. Like, he is a workhorse. He was on for like 60 minutes. His stats were off the dial. He doesn't have an off switch. Like, I don't reckon he runs off the same stuff that we run off. It's ridiculous. He just doesn't know how to slow down. And the Dragons, they actually looked all right. Our man Goody Goodsall predicted this, actually. He's been watching the trials, and he reckons the Dragons are a good team. He reckons they can make the 8.
New coach,
I reckon.
Flanagan. They've got a new coach, Flanagan. He's a proven winner. He took the Sharks to a premiership, boys. Let's not discount that. You got Ben Hunt still there. They signed a couple of people during the off-season. And I think some people, we just don't look at the Dragons sometimes because they have been historically just so bad in the last couple of years. But can they turn something around maybe?
I hope so. I'd love to see it. I don't think they can make 8, but you never know. It's a funny because I'll probably make 4 now that I've said that.
I
But
think they might get into the competition around the 10, 11, 12, but I don't think they'll get much better than that.
yeah, I agree. I'm sitting
Yeah,
there.
it's going to be
In,
it's going to be really interesting to see because how the rugby league world works. How many teams have been written off for the 8 after round 1?
Yeah.
Like they've written the
To be
Titans off.
fair, this season, not many.
Like our Smokies, some of our Smokies last week was Titans in the top 4, and there's other people out there that were tipping the Titans to have a big season on the Desi. They've lost 1 game at home against the Dragons, and they're like, if you can't beat the Dragons, you won't make the 8. They're gone, and it's like, what?
I think
Hang
it
on a
just
minute.
it goes to show you how much work teams have to do. Like for me, with the Titans lineup, even though they had a few missing, the way they played, it was sort of being like, how much catch up do these guys have to do to get better? Because right away the Dragons have come out firing. Full respect to the Cowboys, they came out. I like that the Cowboys are throwing the ball early. A lot of teams don't do that, but maybe that's what they need to kickstart
Run the
this
ball
season.
on 5th and last a lot.
You know, to me, I don't know about, like, let's go about upsets of the round, like who we thought did the biggest upset. Mine, personally, I've got to give a shout out to the Sharks. heading over to New Zealand, full house full of Warriors. I mean, full credit to come down back from 12-0. It's a Sharks round for me. Well done.
I was disappointed in the refereeing in that game.
What happened?
Man, every time the Warriors or the Sharks were down in their own end, it was piggyback penalties.
Was it?
I don't know if that was a refereeing. I think it was just poor discipline, especially the Warriors in the second half.
but
They gave away so
it's
many
round one, let
penalties.
them go. Like,
But I understand
You
that,
can't
but it's
let 'em go
also
in
the
round
NRL. Like, if you're not good enough, you should be penalised.
it's just the consistency. Like, look at the refereeing last week in Vegas. It was fantastic. They said it was ref like a State of Origin or a grand final.
As it should have been.
As it should been.
Yeah.
But then this week comes along, and I won't even ask you boys about that penalty try. You know, 'cause
That was a poor call, but
that's a poor call.
Was
Are
that
we talking
the
about the Cowboys?
Cowboys?
Yeah. That was a poor
that was
call.
disgusting.
And then we also had the refereeing decisions over the weekend. Just inconsistency. I just didn't like it. And then the sin binning for the Canberra player, who was that? Hudson Young or
you
something?
can't tell me that wasn't a
That was
sin
an
bin.
absolute sin bin.
No, but you know what I'm saying is
But that's
that.
not
but-
inconsistent if he did it.
Yeah, I think the refereeing was okay.
But in that moment, if that's a 79th minute play, is he sin bin?
yes,
Yes.
that's a sin bin every day.
Absolutely. It's a sin bin. You have to do that.
Ricky Stewart's the only person that doesn't believe that was a
My
sin bin.
problem with
I
the
don't think it was a sin bin.
inconsistency...
You don't think that was a sin bin?
My problem with the
Bit soft.
inconsistency is when you go to the bunker and 1 week the ruling is this with like that penalty try. Next week, I can almost guarantee you something similar will happen, and they won't give it a penalty try, and then there's up.
And
I think
you know what?
That's fine as long as they come out this week and say that was an error. If they say that they made the
Exactly.
right
How many
call,
times do they have to come out after? And I'm getting fired up here, boys. I don't know if you can tell. How many weeks do they come out after a decision and they go, "Oh yeah, we made an error. Fix it."
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
my-
what's
my point with
you know?
this, right? I'm going to. This is my view, is that it should. It's important to what players are involved. So Ponga has had a lot of head knocks, right? And if you're an opposition player, a human to human, you've come in. He's clearly gone in really hard for someone who's also 5 meters from the ball. Remember that.
Yeah.
Ponga's copped a big knock. He's gone down. It didn't need to happen. In my eyes, the game should go. You know what? He is going off for 10. We don't need that in the game. This guy's had head knocks before. I think there's a duty of care there from Hudson Young, and he just didn't do it.
I don't think that even needs to come into it. He's lifted his elbow or whatever it was into his chin. That should be a sin bin no matter who it's
Of
on.
course, you can clearly see.
It's
that
arguably a sin bin if he does have the ball.
He would have run into him either way, I reckon. At least a little bit of contact. But the situation that happened with his elbow hitting his head, that should have never happened.
was that on purpose?
It
That
was
was a
clear.
decision.
But do you think that was on purpose?
Yes.
100%. That was a decision.
He could have just hit him.
100%.
Nothing would have happened. He's purposely lifted his.
You got to
You
think,
know what,
it's
Nick?
Hudson Young. He's got a bit of a history of doing some grubby stuff. And Kalen Ponga, I reckon if it's somebody else, he
wouldn't
doesn't do it.
Even if it's not on purpose,
Ah,
just like this is where I love watch. I mean, I much prefer league, but where I respect rugby union is it's like sharpen up your game. So if this guy's gone and if Hudson's accidentally raised it and hit him, too bad. 10 in the bin. Like you've
I
just got to
agree,
control.
it's good.
You're a
Yeah, but-
professional athlete.
And what I mean by the inconsistency is every front rower in the league has bumpers like this when they run the ball. They put their
Yeah,
put
but
their
they're not.
Yeah, but
doing
why is
that
that
to hit
why is that
someone
not
in the chin.
penalised?
Because they're not doing it to hit him in the chin.
But you definitely can.
Hudson Young has gone on to someone. He doesn't have the
look
ball.
at-
Ponga doesn't have the ball.
I feel
and
like
he's
they've
raised
tightened
his
up
arm.
Look
on
at
that,
look at
man.
Tino and Api Coruscant. He broke his jaw.
yeah, but that was
He
bad.
broke his jaw.
That was bad. He was lucky to.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but that doesn't mean that was the right
But
call.
what going back to my original point is the inconsistency with the refereeing, blowing penalties and all that, and then we've got two inconsistencies. The referees on the field who cop unnecessary slack for the decisions the bunker give, but the referees association comes out every week and goes, "Oh, you made an error," but they're not doing anything about it, and we're just going to continue having this conversation every week.
I think,
mean,
I think we've skipped the round one review, and Matt's just gone straight to his issues with referees.
Yeah.
Nah, it's fair enough.
It was a good round all in all. It was tough tipping. Like to address the fact that Lachie Cain,
Big round from me. Big round from me.
0 from 8.
No
Look,
tips right for Lachie.
Well,
Cain.
going into Saturday, I thought I've got nothing right. Underdogs are winning. I've got to get one back here that no one would go for. Go the Dogs. They're the only underdog that lost on the weekend, so I don't know what to do now.
Yeah.
I
But-
cannot believe you tipped the Dogs.
I mean, let's be real. Some major contenders here are winless from round one, and that makes it really exciting. I think that'll be absolutely fantastic. Let's look at this round coming up this weekend. Broncos, Rabbitohs at home, Thursday night football. I mean, I don't really get excited for Thursday night football. I'd rather it be Friday night footy. But 7 o'clock, Broncos or Rabbitohs, who we got?
Broncos by 20 plus.
Ooh.
It's a huge game. It's more than just this week because the Broncos have Penrith the week after in Penrith, and the Bunnies play the Roosters. So one of them could very much be 0-3 going into round 4.
Broncos have got some big games. They've
Broncos.
got Rabbitohs, Penrith next week, and then they've got Cowboys the week after.
I think it's the
Tough
Storm
start.
to
That's
follow
a
that.
tough month of footy.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jai Arrow's out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yep.
Could be the season.
Could be the season.
Could be the season.
Jack Whiten's still
There was
not
another
back.
one, Jack White, and I reckon Souths are going to come up here and get pumped this
In
week.
saying that, Bunnies have a very good track record the last 2 years at Suncorp.
Yeah, but Broncos back at home, Suncorp. There's gonna be 30,000 plus for
Trell
sure.
Corp.
Yep.
You know?
Like Trell Corp.
Trell
Trell's
Corp.
just gonna go wide.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos will
yeah.
win. I really do. I think Broncos got a great team. They're back at home. I mean, their fan base is ready to go. They're pumped. But I really think that also fires the Bunnies up because there's no real pressure on them then, in my opinion. So
There's
I think
heaps
that'll
of pressure
fire
on them.
I think Broncos.
There's heaps of pressure on South.
But you'd have to
100%,
say there's more
heaps of
pressure on
pressure.
Broncos
Oh,
going
yeah.
into Thursday
How
night.
is
There
there
is.
pressure on South?
But he's talking about for this game, not for the
Oh, for this game?
Yeah.
They won in Vegas. They
they
did
lost.
well.
No, they lost.
They lost.
They got
Who did they play?
Manly.
Oh, they played Manly.
Oh.
Yeah, no, pressure on South.
Welcome to the
Pressure on
I think-
podcast,
South.
Bailey.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos will win, but I think, Matt, you're underselling the Bunnies. Look,
Yeah.
Trell will come up, be
They're
fiery.
missing the 8, and I've called
All
it.
right. Sharks, Dogs. I mean, yeah, look, if Dogs upset the Shark, but I can't see the Sharks losing that.
I think the Sharks
No,
are too
Sharks.
good.
No, yeah.
This one gets me every time.
Yes.
I
me
have
too.
tipped Parramatta over Penrith.
Yes.
What do you think?
I'm
Yeah.
still
There
going
is-
Penrith. They lost last week.
there is
They're going
no way.
all out.
There's
I know
no
it's
way
Parramatta.
on this earth that Penrith lose this Friday night. There is no way.
Parramatta beat Penrith twice last season, twice in the regular season, and they
Yeah.
did not play each other in the
think it
finals.
matters.
That's last season.
Oh, huge call.
I'd,
Yeah,
I'd
it
put
doesn't
money
matter.
on Penrith to win that game.
Me too.
I'm going Para boys.
Para for me.
Goody over a sushi lunch today said he's tipping the Tigers over the Raiders. What do we think about that?
I completely agree.
Yeah, I like
love
it.
I
Are you
love
kidding?
Yep.
I know.
I like it.
I love it.
Raiders, no. Put some respect on their name. They played well last week
Luke.
in Newcastle. And they're back
they
at
did play
home.
well.
It's
They
a
did
Raiders
play
home
well.
game, boys.
It's
I think there's
it's
an
ti-
ambush on
The
the card.
Tigers have
Yeah.
a lot to prove.
Yes.
The first game of their season.
Caesar got dropped, didn't he? He got named at 14 or something?
Not
didn't he?
dropped, but he's on.
Is
he's
Adam
on the
Dewey
bench. No, they've got a new kid debuting. He plays. So they got Jaden Sullivan, who's playing 7, I believe.
He's playing 7.
And the new kid, Lachlan Galvin, is playing 6. No idea who he is.
Okay, I might go camp.
It's a debut.
It's a debut. But you got to look at, like, Ethan Strange is the 6 for the Raiders.
Yeah, but
that's his second.
Jamal
like,
Fogarty's a
or
very
third.
good
Yeah.
controlling 7.
He is, man.
I think
but
it's pretty harsh and pretty disrespectful to tip Tigers over Raiders this weekend, in my opinion.
It's a little bit
think the Tigers-
arrogant, yeah, but
But we love
I can see it
arrogance.
happening.
We
I
love
can
it,
see happening.
mate.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, this is where I'm going to get controversial, is that I think the Knights, just because they are coming off such a big loss at home, I think they will upset the Cowboys, only because, again, the first game at home is difficult.
Yeah, it is.
I agree.
I'm nervous.
And
for
I
that
think-
game.
I think it could be like a 6-point game. I see the Cowboys playing well. The Knights just need that, that bit of extra. I need to win this game. That's controversial.
Notoriously, we struggle against the Knights. I think.
I think as
I'm
well-
off the Knights.
You've
off
been
the
off the
Knights.
Knights for 3 months.
Why's
Yeah.
that?
Oh, they just looked awful last week at home.
Yeah, but
like, I'm one of these people that are writing teams off after round 1. And I don't
Just
get
get that people for doing that.
At least you can admit that.
I'm admitting it, yeah.
I think with the
Um,
Cowboys, the game against Redcliffe, they would have loved a 16-10 win, but because they put so many points on,
Yeah.
they don't know how to go into this week because it's hard to gauge how good they were last week. So
I
they
reckon
might
focus will be
undersell their
defense.
performance.
I think they'll play really well. I think the Cowboys will improve. I don't think they can drop off after last week in terms of, cop a big loss. But I just think that extra fight of Newcastle being like, we're so poor last week, we need to bring it back. And again, there's more pressure on home teams to start the season. I'd like to be the away team this
I'm
week.
going to call it now. Bradman Best is going to be the best player in the field.
Well,
On Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I'm going to
Wow.
have Tommy Dearden up there for the Cowboys if he brings it home.
I'm going Val again.
I've got another upset. I really think the Warriors are going to upset
Yep.
the Storm.
Was.
I think they're ready to
I'm
go.
on the was. Let's
Yep.
go.
I'm
What do you reckon?
Tips,
Nah.
boys. I think the Storm will put
Storm
the
win it.
30.
Easy.
30
Oh.
on.
Easy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
The
tipping.
Warriors always underperforming against
Yeah,
the
the
Storm.
Storm belt.
Yeah,
the
but-
Warriors.
Yeah. Well, I'm tipping against Lachie Cain because he got none from 8 last week.
I'm
So
about to
he
go
has
8
no.
from 8.
He has no credibility
about to go
when
8
it comes
from
to
8.
tips.
But in saying that, look, both teams, actually, the Warriors had a close game against the Sharks. Same story with Storm. So, if anything, that'll be a good game, actually. Two solid 80-minute games for both teams. Hopefully they're
Well,
close.
that's the Warriors' biggest problem. They couldn't play 80 minutes on the weekend.
Yeah, that's exactly
Maybe they
right.
get a better referee this week.
This one, just gets more exciting. This one is tricky, in my opinion. Manly and Roosters.
I'm going Manly.
Flip the coin, I reckon.
I have personally gone Manly, but I won't be surprised if Roosters win, just because I think there's been too much media for the Roosters. It's been a lot. It's been a bit of a distraction, and I just think Manly right now. I think in the middle of the season they actually are going to struggle a little bit, but right now everything's fresh. The attention's on Brooks and Cherry. I think they'll come away with a possibly 6 to 10 point win.
I like Manly. Luke Brooks' first game at home for Manly.
That's the other factor. Sorry, is the home game. That's the major factor for me.
I've gone Roosters at this point, but I'm not sold. Roosters are getting Jared and Dom Young back, and I think they played pretty well in Vegas. And
They did.
yeah, I think Trent Robinson, he could have them on a pretty tight ship this year.
To me, it was always who the home team was going to win this one, in my opinion.
Yeah,
See-
I don't mind that. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I reckon Roosters are such a good club of just putting things behind them. Like, look at their track record with big things happening outside the game.
Just think how good they'd be if they weren't idiots and they didn't do stuff.
like look at the 2018 grand final with Cooper Cronk. He had a busted shoulder and no one knew if he was going to play or not.
Yeah.
So
That's also Cooper Cronk, mate. So.
What I'm saying by that is they keep things in house. They forget about things.
They do.
I think they're going to go out and they're gonna play a really good game. Look, I'm not going to sit here and go I'm confident in the Roosters win, but it's going to be close. But I reckon Roosters will just get them. They've got Saab out as well. So
You're never going to tip against the Roosters.
never.
Really.
But they've got Saab out too, so that's a big.
It'll be a cracker.
I don't hate that though, because that means hopefully Brad Parker comes back into the team.
No, Tommy Talau was playing.
Yeah, he's been named.
Yeah. I think it'll be a cracker. Like I said,
Yeah.
I think whoever the main home team will win.
Yeah.
Whether it was, at wherever the Roosters' home ground is or Brookvale.
I think it's the same for this next game.
Here, I'm going to kick it off. Dolphins and Dragons. Lads, as I said, Avarello's in for the Dolphins this week. I'm glad Isaiah Katoa is coming into the squad. I was very frustrated with the halves combination last week with Sean O'Sullivan and Nicarima. In Redcliffe, that was the worst game I've ever seen the Dolphins play.
It was so poor.
Hopefully their
Not
fullback
taking
can get
anything
together.
from the Cowboys, but even the Hammer, my favourite player, was well out of touch. So I think they'll switch on. I think Dragons will play well, but I reckon it'd be another close game. I think it'd be a round of close wins this week.
I'm tipping the
I
Dragons.
don't hate a Ben Hunt masterclass though up in Queensland.
yes.
Got the
True.
Dolphins at this
I've
point.
got the Dolphins, but I don't think the Dragons are out of it.
Dragons are favourites over the Dolphins too. By the
They
way.
are.
I wouldn't be trusting the
Just-
odds
just.
this early in the season because it's very much based on last week.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough.
One team's coming off a big win, the other team
Bad
coming off a
loss.
massive loss. So.
They've also got Luciano Leilua back in the team after his suspension was halved. He's coming on the bench.
Nice.
I rate him as a back rower. I know why the Cowboys got rid of him, but I rate him as a back rower.
He's a great player, but
Yeah.
one thing he'll never sort out is just life out.
Yeah, I know. I know. But
he doesn't do himself
Yeah.
any favours, old Luch.
And lads, the Titans get a week off after a big week.
Easy 2 points. Easy 2 points.
They're going to snag themselves
it's
2
gonna
points.
do them the world of good.
What did I say? They're
going
going to have 8 points after 5 rounds. They're on their way.
You reckon that'll do him a world of good?
Yep. They've got an extra
Oh, yeah,
week.
Des will.
I would
To
say
be
go
honest with
off.
you, they've probably already forgotten about the game. Knowing Des, they've done a review and they've got over it. And now they've got a good, 10 to 12 day turnaround to really set their sights on what they want to do.
I like that they've copped a huge loss to start the season.
Yeah.
I like it. I think even like the Broncos, it wasn't a huge loss. It was a tight arm wrestle. But even the Broncos losing game 1, I think that's nothing but working in their favour for Suncorp this week. And obviously, hopefully, the Finns do a bit better than what they did. So, lads, it's going to be a close weekend of footy, I reckon. Some tight score lines, plenty of points. Some games will be real grit, but I reckon it's all there, all happening for the weekend. But we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with a bit of a debate corner on rugby league. We'll be back in just a moment. Coastal Crew
Podcast. That's my favourite.
It's not a podcast unless Lachie
Yeah.
MacArthur
Can we
stuffs
just
up the
leave that
intro.
in? Can we just say it's authentic?
Yeah.
Coastal Crew podcast is back. We're going to do debate corner right now. National Rugby League. It's been a big week, mate. Boys, the topic for today's conversation. We've all been rugby league fans for many years now, decades for some of us. Thursday night football, or would you rather have Monday night football back? Now, I'm going to throw it to Lachie and Matthew first. I believe you guys, when we were talking about this today, you said you prefer Thursday night footy. Convince me and Bailey right now why we keep Thursday night football.
Thursday. It's so much better. It means the early week. It's kind of like an early weekend. You finish work on a Thursday, footy's there, and then it's footy. Who wants to watch footy on a Monday?
Who goes shopping on a Thursday night?
It's literally
That's what it's made for, mate. What are you doing about?
No, but
The working class. I
just
get my haircuts on Thursday nights, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can do it while you're watching the footy.
I struggle with the late game on a Sunday. It's already so long.
I
But
get
like
that. I get that.
the,
What about
the Sunday game? That's a 6 p.m. finish,
Yeah.
Yep.
and then you got what time is Monday night football? You
Oh, back in the day, Monday night footy was
Used to be the
7:30.
best.
exactly
7:30
It's up till
p.m.
9:30 on a Monday.
Yeah,
You
perfect,
don't-
mate.
It's so good. You have a hard day's work. You've just started the week. You're like, oh,
It's a
there's
shit
not
day
footy
too.
until the weekend or Friday or whenever.
Yeah, but-
and then you get home from work. You're like, I've got a game
Yeah.
of footy I can watch. I can sit
Then
down.
you gotta
But-
wait till
relax.
Friday.
But
on Wednesday when
Yeah.
you're tired.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
It's
Thursday.
halfway through the week.
Yeah.
Do you
You gotta
not
wait all the way to
believe?
Friday.
Do you not believe Thursday night football takes away from Friday night footy?
No. And I also believe that Thursday night gets better crowds
No,
than
I
Monday
agree
night
with you,
does.
Lachie. I think
Yes.
it does take away a little bit.
You remember growing up, they had Monday night footy, and then you'd be like, there's nothing. The footy show was on a Thursday night.
Love the
Footy show. Remember, we don't have a good footy show, so maybe that's why there actually is a game now on Thursday night. And then, Thursday night crowds, people finish work, they can't get to the game.
they can't
They
get to
don't
the
get
game
home.
Monday.
On Monday.
They can't get
Candy
it.
said.
That's why they scrapped it for a reason. Is because Monday they were getting shit crowds. No one could get there, and it was on at 8 o'clock at night. Thursday night. So this is how my week goes. Monday, NRL 360. Tuesday, NRL 360. Wednesday, NRL 360.
You need hobbies, mate.
And then Thursday night, it's footy. And then it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. How good is that?
I reckon Friday to Monday.
No. Because then you got to wait all the way till Friday to watch some footy.
But let's have a look at in
You
the
get-
US. Hear me out
Here we
here.
go, US.
Put the Monday night football game not on Fox. It was always on Fox. Chuck it on Channel 9. AFL won't compete with it, so it's only NRL that's going to be on Monday nights. Kicks butt in the US. Monday night football's literally the big game of the week. Everyone's watching it. And also, Monday's the perfect market. What else could you be doing on a Monday night?
Well, if I was an NRL coach, which I'm clearly not, Monday night football, then you got to name a team list the next day. It just can't
No,
happen.
because you could delay it till Wednesday because.
But you
the
can't
games-
delay it till Wednesday
Why not?
because it's teamless
Oh,
Tuesday.
no, there'd be an
it's
exception.
the NRL regulation.
Hey,
No,
Haynesy,
but
they
you
would
could just
change
make it teamless Wednesday because the games don't start on Thursday
But
anymore. They start on
teamless
Friday.
Wednesday sounds shit.
No, you can't base your argument off how a word sounds.
Teamless Tuesday sounds so much better than teamless Wednesday.
Boys, I just want to say something here. Two things. I agree with the Thursday night, only because it gets you excited for the weekend ahead of footy.
Thank you, Goody.
All right,
You're
you go to
finally
work the
making
next day.
some
Hey, did you
sense.
watch that game last night?
If your
Oh, yeah, it was a
team-
great game.
Okay,
I'm not finished here.
If your team-
This is the right to corner, mate. And another reason why is you said before we don't have any good footy shows anymore. What about Thursday night with Matty Johns, mate? I know they have a Monday night show.
you gotta pay to
But
watch
Thursday
it.
night,
Thank
the
you.
boys are talking about the game that's just happened. They're having jokes, having a laugh.
That's a
So,
stitch up.
Lachie Cain's argument was about Monday night football. No one's staying up that late to watch it. But Thursday night with Matty Johns is on at like 9:30.
I don't watch the footy show anyway.
I don't watch it.
I watch it.
It could get so many more views if it was
Okay.
on earlier.
But hear me out, right? With Monday night football, if your team lost, you've got the week to get over it. If I'm watching, the Finns or the Broncos on a Thursday night and they get pumped, I'm not watching another game of footy for the weekend. I'm annoyed. I've had
It
enough.
works the same if they play Friday.
Hey?
It works the same if they play the first
Yeah,
game on
but
Friday.
Friday night footy's got
All
a
right.
ring. Thursday night,
All right,
Thursday
listen,
night.
No.
because this is going to be realistic, right? The Roosters put 40 on the Finns, right? On a Sunday night, right?
Okay. Then.
You've got to wait till Friday to watch the Finns play again. You got to wait till Friday.
All right, shush.
Don't see your point.
You know what I mean? Like
No.
Thursday night is it's good.
No.
That was the worst argument. I've
No,
ever
no,
heard.
no.
Takes
Let-
away
let-
from
let me
Friday
win
night
this
football.
argument really
Simple
quick.
as that.
Let's hear
If
it.
you're at work and you're talking about the footy, you watch the Thursday night game. Friday, everyone's ready for the weekend. It's more relaxed. They'll happily chat footy. If you're going on Tuesday, everyone's got meetings. They don't want to talk about the fucking footy that was on last night.
That's the first thing you
They're
talk
busy
about over
working.
coffee. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
but on a Friday, the whole day you can talk about the footy because no one's working on a Friday.
That's
They're
right.
excited for Friday night footy.
That's
no one's working on a Friday.
If you play on the Thursday night and you talk about
Whoa.
footy on Friday, talk about the game yesterday, you're excited for the game
Hang
tonight.
on.
On Monday, you're like, oh, the footy's still a week away. Why are you talking about it? It's still 4 days away.
Hang on a minute.
Thursday night footy
Hang on.
is so much better than Monday night footy.
You just said, Lachie McCarthy, you just said, what about the working class? But yet you're like, no one works on Friday.
I didn't say that.
I
You just said that.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I revoked that.
No, I mean,
No,
people work, but like, you're not putting in the same effort on Friday as you are on Tuesday morning.
I don't put any effort into work anyway.
Tuesday morning, you got your meetings.
You know what I
You're
miss?
meeting the boss.
Real
you're
quick.
figuring out what you're going to do. Friday, what do you fucking do?
Doesn't that make
You're finishing
Friday-
up some work.
To
Okay.
end the debate,
Exactly,
to
so
end
you
the
can talk
debate, to end the debate, I missed the old Friday night footy on Channel 9, and they'd play the other game back to back. So if you're a Queensland viewer, the Broncos would be on first, and then the
Yes.
Roosters Manly would come on second. Until I was about 8, my uncles used to trick me, like we'd be watching it. I'd be like, "Oh, these guys are starting late," like Be like, "Yeah, mate, like they kick off at like 9:30, 10 p.m. down in Sydney."
Yeah,
And I fully believed it till I was like 8 or 9. But that's what I miss. Thursday night footy, rubbish. Get rid of it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rubbish.
No, I'm with Lachie. Bring
The
that
only,
up.
the only,
Yeah, there we are.
the only Monday night, the only Monday game that actually works is Easter Monday
Why does that actually work?
Because it's public holiday.
because it's a public holiday.
And they played in the Arvo.
Correct.
All right, lads. Well, great debate corner. At the end of the day, Bailey and I agree. Monday night footy, bring it back. You, Lachie
Can I add
Cain,
one
Matty
more thing?
Haynes, and Goody agree. Thursday night footy, finish it off, Lock.
I'd rather move the early Friday game to Monday. Because no one watched the early Friday game.
I
Actually, that's
do
true.
not mind that.
5
I don't
p.m.
mind that.
Yeah.
I don't mind
Shocking
that.
kickoff.
Is that something we've just agreed on? Hold-
Yeah. We've
Yeah.
ended the debate in solidarity,
Yeah.
boys.
Yes.
How good's that?
Thursday through
I
Monday.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thursday through to Monday.
That'd be elite.
I actually love that. I actually love that so much.
2-day break after that. All right, lads. That ends the debate corner. That's all our rugby league talk, and we'll be back with some more on AFL and a bit of golf. See you soon. Good work.
That was actually good.
That was good. That was fun. Coastal Crew podcast, lads. Opening round for AFL. We just had it. It was a bit controversial. Melbourne fans weren't happy, but overall, 4 good games of footy in the AFL. Some absolute blockbusters as well. Let's just run through the scores. And we're going to get our stats man, Lachie Cain. He's just going to tell us what his thoughts were, particularly on the 2 Queensland teams that played as well. Swans were all over the Demons.
Swannies.
86-64. That kicked off in Sydney. Great crowd at the SCG, by the way,
It always is.
for the opening round. It was absolutely, it was absolutely
Really
great.
opening round though.
85-86, the Lions lost at the Gabba.
Oh,
and before that
mate.
night, 52 games out of 60, the Lions had won. Is that correct?
The Gabba.
What was
Yeah.
what was the margin at the
46 points halfway through the second quarter was the lead.
Tell it- Tell us what happened there, because a lot of buzz was around. That was probably the game of the round, really.
Yeah, that was.
In terms of Lions, Carlton. What do you think happened there, Lachie? What did we do right and what did we do wrong?
2 title contenders, but the Lions are premiership favourites, or were going into that game. They started amazingly. I mean, what they scored, I think they scored 7 goals to 2 at quarter time. They then scored another couple goals, had a 46-point lead.
Yep.
Just couldn't keep it. I mean, the Lions have had that problem all last year. For the last few years, that's been the Lions' biggest problem, is when they concede the momentum, they'll never concede 2-3 goals and turn around. It's always 6-7 goals, and that's what happened to them last night, and they couldn't close it out in the fourth quarter.
Sounds like a team that we all know and are quite familiar with, the Titans. What, do we agree?
Do you sound like this?
Yes, I mean, in a sense. But
They
the
score
Titans,
points but then can't concede the game.
except the Lions win. So
Can't
Well, they
see your
didn't.
logic there.
I mean, that is the first time the Lions have lost at the Gabba since 2022, last round of the
2
regular
years.
season.
To lose by a point, but to
Yeah.
also be, they just, once they lost momentum, they could not turn it back.
Yeah.
And usually they can do that sometimes, and I thought they might have when they scored 1 or 2 goals, but Carlton just goal after goal. They came back big time, and their fans, the Blues brothers, I mean, full credit. Their fans were still cheering, having a laugh when they were down 50 to something.
I'll give it big credit to Harry Mackay. He's had a lot of criticism around his goal kicking, and he kicked the winning goal on the weekend. I think he kicked 4 goals for the game, or maybe it was just the 3. I think.
Yeah.
Vossi coming back and gets his old team as a head coach, and he
Exactly
did him
right.
did him at the Gabba.
I mean, full credit to Carlton to come back. The Lions did not lose at home last year. To win by 1 makes that extra sting. But good to see the Gabba lighten up for opening round. People around it.
I do want to bit of props to Darcy Gardner playing up front. He's been a defender for a long time, but he can't fit into the squad up the back, so he played up front. I thought he played pretty well. He set up a few goals. He wasn't selfish, which I was worried about because he just thinks I'm up front, I got to kick goals. He often found Charlie Cameron, found Eric Hipwood, so I thought he played really well.
Yeah.
And unfortunate news about Kitty Coleman, done his ACL, so
That's
I think
huge.
we'll see him again.
That's right.
Boys, Coleman out.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
He's a big part of that team, and he's a good player.
Isn't he,
so-
Goody?
Yeah, mate, he's a fantastic player. I know about the ACL part, but I don't really know him.
Yeah.
But good bloke.
Then we had the Suns on the goalie against
Your team,
Richmond.
brother. Woohoo!
How good's that? 99 to 60. The Suns were also flogging Richmond,
They
but then
let it back.
Richmond started to bring it back. But what the Lions didn't do was claw back, and that's what Suns did. They realised, okay, we are getting, we're not getting the run of the green here. We're not kicking goals, but they brought it back in the 4th.
I was
How
actually
good.
a little bit disappointed in that scoreline with the Suns. The Suns were winning 73 to 13.
Oh,
Yeah,
great
They
start.
were on top,
Mate.
and then they let him back in, but they closed it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
good to see a good crowd on the Gold Coast as well, kicking off.
Sold out, wasn't
It
it?
was a good
Yeah.
crowd, actually.
Beautiful sunny day, and it's actually sold out this weekend against the Adelaide Crows as well.
Sold out.
I think
Yeah,
that's 4 in a row for Gold Coast against
Yeah.
Richmond.
Damien Hardwick, plenty of interest around the Suns.
Ben King, 5 goals, and he's had a
Yeah.
lot of goal kicking problems.
Unreal. Up the Sunnies.
This is a big game.
GWS, they lost by a point to Collingwood in the semi-final last year, and they've come out and
Pumped.
put 114 on them, and Collingwood got 82. Run us through that game, boys.
No, GWS played well. Can't say it was a big surprise. They had a good run last year, and they're expected to go even better this year, so not the biggest upset going around, and Mason Cox got them a bit fiery with some...
Is this the
negative
year that
comments.
they finally do it, GWS?
I don't think
Is
it's
this
this
the...
I mean, that they have a lot of fight in them, GWS. A lot of people kind of don't like playing GWS because sometimes it can get a bit grubby or whatnot, but to me, they're the attack dog of AFL.
Yeah.
Like, it's never an easy game against Greater Western Sydney.
And that GWS, just for reference, is Greater Western Sydney. There's a few people last week that were like, who's
Yeah.
GWS?
Good point.
Greater Western Sydney.
Yeah, Greater Western Sydney Giants and Collingwood. I mean, they'll bounce back this weekend. But the 2 games I want to mention for this weekend, tomorrow, when is it? Tomorrow night? Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
How good is Thursday night footy, by the way?
Oh, it's fair. Carlton,
So good.
Richmond. They're going to have over 90,000 people
Yep.
at the MCG. What do you reckon,
Carlton
Lock?
off a big win. Richmond need to bounce back.
Yeah.
I think Carlton win it easy. I think Richmond aren't as good as they were 3 years ago, and Carlton are the best they've been in a very long time. I think Carlton, let's say 110 to 70. I reckon that would be...
Ooh, big
Boys,
score.
I'm just going to come out and say this. I think the AFL had a better round 1 than the NRL.
I disagree.
Get up and leave.
I agree. I agree completely.
Take away
I
the 2
don't.
Vegas games. I'm talking about the round back in Australia.
Yeah.
AFL
Even
had...
still, I think
AFL had
What
the
makes
better.
you think it was better?
There was a lot of
Crowd numbers were great.
crowd
They weren't,
numbers. There was
though.
a
I
few
don't think
blowout
they were that
scores in terms of the NRL. Like you looked at the Knights game.
But apart from the Lions-Carlton game, what AFL game was close?
Well, the Suns beating Richmond was good for
Suns.
both Queensland
the
teams.
Swannies,
We saw lots of upsets in
Swannies,
the NRL.
Swannies was an arm wrestle game right up till the 4th quarter with Melbourne.
The Swannies was a
Full
shocking
house at
game.
SCG is good as well.
Yeah,
Like, there's
but
more-
the Swannies-Demons game, the
There
ball
is
handling
more.
was horrific.
There are more at a Swans game than most Rugby League New South Wales games.
you
Yeah,
know
that's
why?
just- yeah,
There was
you know
no-
why though?
I don't think
Fact.
the crowd's very good at the GWS Collingwood game.
You know why though? Because Sydney has 2 teams,
Yeah, multiple teams. Really.
and NRL Sydney teams there's 11.
Yeah, Which
So-
it all makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But I agree with Matt. I
think
think it's not to take away from Vegas. Vegas was fantastic.
Yeah, it was really
but I
good.
think in just share 4 games to focus on, AFL, try something different. I mean, full credit to them.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I think AFL are behind the mark for the first time in marketing because I think Vegas really put a dent.
Yeah.
I do think it'll be interesting
that.
with after this week in the AFL. They got to give all those teams that just played a bye between round 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So the Lions won't be playing in 2 weeks. The Suns won't be playing. And I don't know. I don't like the idea of... I mean, I know the NRL has to do every week, but 4 teams getting a bye this early in the season just to have 4 games a week before, I'm not a fan of
Yeah,
it.
I'm not a fan of that.
It'd be interesting,
strange.
but the other big one is Collingwood and Sydney Swans. That'll be a cracker. It'll be an absolute cracker. That's on Friday.
I think Collingwood will win that. I think coming off a loss that they probably would have expected to win. I mean, GWS are good, but Collingwood are the defending premiers at the MCG.
Swans 2 from 2.
90,000.
Yeah.
Swans 2 from 2.
Who do you like? You like the Swannies,
I love
hey?
the Swannies, yeah.
Yeah, I rate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
We're
I
going
don't
to have to
think the
go to
Swannies make the
Swans.
8.
We're going to have to go to Swans
Yeah,
game this year.
Swans game at the SCG, there's nothing better. Like,
There's a whole lot
Yeah.
better.
The AFL tipping's going well as well. We got the NRL AFL tipping comp for
Yes.
Coastal Crew. So guys, if you're not onto that,
I did better in that one. I got 1.
send us a message or just hop on our socials on Facebook. Look at the ESPN competition.
can I just ask?
Yeah.
Can I ask for? Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
We'll just give you
How
my
did you
one.
go
Yeah,
with tipping,
you got all the
Lachie?
time, mate.
AFL was okay. Predicted most of them actually.
Really?
The
How
one
many
I
did you
got, pretty sure I got 3.
So you went.
I did
Sydney-
go GWS over Collingwood.
So you went Sydney.
I think I might have tipped Demons over Swans actually.
So you went Carlton.
No, sorry,
okay.
sorry. Yeah, it's Carlton I got wrong against the Lions.
The only one I got NRL and AFL, Suns to beat Richmond. That's the only tip I got right all weekend.
Yeah. Oh, it's just a tough round for tipping in general. I mean, just full of upset after upset.
Can I ask for? Is it the green machine? Yeah, the green machine. TheGreeneMoshe.
Yeah. What about
And
it?
the Green Machine.
Please review yourself to the Coastal Crew because they got a perfect score this weekend. So that for
In the
NRL.
Yeah.
So that means
Unreal.
that means they know nothing about NRL.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So
We'll have to get on a phone call next week.
yeah, reach out because that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was.
please reach out. Let us know. But lads, also, I reckon this year, obviously, we'll try and get around some NRL events. Love to go to State of Origin with you all, but let's get to the G as well.
Yeah.
Even just to support a Queensland team. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Haynesy?
Yeah.
SCG or MCG? Where would you rather go? It's just biased. I'm not even going to worry about it.
Can you let me answer?
Okay.
90,000 at the G would be awesome to see because I've already been to the SCG when there's been a full house and I'd like to try both to compare, but
Yeah.
I think I'm going to tip Sydney.
Mate, that's a bloody good reason.
You two okay?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
all
I'm good. I'm answering fine. So,
Just giving a look so that.
also, can
Quite concerning.
I tell you a story about what happened my weekend?
Yeah, sure.
Hey,
You got 1 minute.
shout out to the Townsville Blackhawks. They flew down to Brisbane.
This is NRL?
NRL,
Rugby League,
sorry.
sorry.
They flew down to Brisbane. Was an hour late, and then they left their jerseys in Townsville. And they had to play in the Ipswich Jets away jersey, and then they beat the Ipswich Jets in their own jerseys. If that's not dribbly rugby league, I just don't know what.
Do you reckon it was tactical? Do you reckon it's like, we're
clearly
going to rock up an
wasn't.
hour late, we're going to leave you hanging, then we're going to wear your jerseys, and then what was the score?
20-16.
A tight win as well.
Yeah, tight win. Yeah.
I just don't know if you could put on another club's jersey, though. I
Yeah.
suppose it was mandatory.
Shirts versus skins.
Yeah.
Watching James Tarmo, international player. He's played 300 games. He's signed for the Blackhawks this year, running around in an Ipswich Jet jersey. He probably thinking,
Sight to behold.
what have I done?
Yeah.
What have I done?
What a fall from grace this is. Oh. All right, well, that's plenty of AFL chat. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we've got our expert analyst, Goody, in the studio to talk about a bit of golf, and we're going to follow along with him. We'll be back in
Love
just
a
a
Goody.
moment. Still Crew podcast. All the boys are in the studio. We're going to chat about a bit of golf now. That's how we all formed our relationship, fellas, through golf. Not that any of us are any good, but I'm going to hand over Goody, our expert analyst out of the team. technically an amateur golfer.
Very much so.
In
Very
my
much.
mind, mate, you're a lot more than that. So I'm going to pass to you, mate. Lead the golf charge.
Yeah, thanks, mate. First of all, if you haven't got your merch already, black caps. We've got some polo shirts as well. You got the green bottle here and the charcoal grey there in the corner. This one was a test. Won't be coming out anytime soon. But anyways, yeah, head to coastalcrewgolfco.com.au.
Yep.
Get yourself a bargain, I reckon.
Send us a DM.
How much are the shirts, Goody?
$49.99.
Mate, that's a steal.
$20.
That is a
$29 for a cap.
steal, boys.
Yeah.
Postage and handling will include. But anyways, bit of golf talk.
Ross by Queensland come.
Bit of golf talk. Man, there's been a lot happening. LIV Golf has been taking off this year. Lachie Cain can probably back me up on this. Joaquin Neiman has won
He's
the
a good golfer.
first 2 out of 4 golf LIV events.
With the Australian Open. At the
With the
start,
Australian Open, so 3 events this year he's taken away from everyone else, which is, honestly, it's a great achievement. Golf to win, let alone an event, is very hard. So big shout out to him. But the LIV Golf Hong Kong Open was just on over the weekend.
What was the prize pool for that? What do you win?
Look, I'm not too familiar with the prize pool for
Like
LIV.
600 million or something.
No, I think because every player that is signed on, Lachie, you're okay with it?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm looking up some golf stats because I just need to remember.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
I
No,
don't
but
follow
anyways,
LIV Golf too much.
LIV Golf, I think it's a 6 million prize pool for that one, but the players get signed on for X amount. So John Rahm, for example, come from PGA to LIV, 600 million.
Jesus.
Which
At the
they're
end of
never
the
ever going to
day-
earn on the PGA.
At the end of the day, you're getting paid 600 million to hit a small ball with essentially what is not a very big stick. Like, and all you got to do
That
is
is
Quite unreal.
get it into a hole that doesn't actually move. No one's really stopping you from getting in the hole, other than just pure weather conditions and pure skill.
You make it sound like a very easy game.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's what I
You
tell
do it.
myself before I play golf.
That's it.
And then by the 3rd hole, I'm throwing clubs in the
By the way,
water.
we need to get you on for a game. You haven't played.
Oh,
Same
we
with
do.
you, Haynesy.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm just trying to watch a bit more LIV golf before I get out there.
Goody, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Isn't there a tournament coming up and the LIV Golf players are not invited to it or something?
Yeah, so there's a big riff at the moment. I'm actually watching Full Swing at the moment on Netflix. It's a
Netflix,
very good
Full
watch. I'd very much recommend it.
Oh,
Shout out.
But I'm
I'll
watching
watch it tonight.
the first
Sounds
season
great.
at the moment, and there's a big kind of rift between PGA and LIV Golf with the whole startup of it all, and whether PGA players, if they go to LIV, can actually go back and play a PGA tournament.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Put yourself as someone who has had won a few PGA tours or however they
The
work
FedEx
it.
Cups.
Yeah,
Yep.
something like that. And let's say you're a big name
Okay.
in that. If they offered you really good money in LIV Golf, would you switch?
How much money are you talking?
I'm
600
talking
million.
600 million.
Mate, if you're going to be realistic, I mean, the
Peak
PGA
of your career, by the way. Peak.
PGA tournament, or the PGA Tour has been around for over a century. It's been fantastic. And I think if you had the opportunity to try something new and you're getting a bit stale in it, 100%, you're never going to earn 600 million on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
It
And
also
that's just going to set you up for the rest of your life, your family.
So if you're peak of your career,
Peak
you've got a
of your
huge
career.
following, you're basically Tiger Woods level in PGA,
Mm.
would you would then switch?
You'd have to consider a lot, and depending on what you're allowed to, if you're allowed to come back and play PGA tournaments, because they've got 4 majors each year, which one's coming up.
Why not just, love the history of the PGA, do that.
Yeah,
Take off
and
for a
that's the
year or
thing.
2, come back.
That's
Yeah.
what stops a lot of people, though.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
it's the tradition and the history of the PGA that stops
100%.
them from going to live.
So-
Look at Tiger Woods, the most accomplished golfer ever, arguably the greatest ever. Live Golf offered him $1 billion
Yeah.
to go to live, and he knocked it back.
Crazy.
I know Tiger Woods
Unreal.
is super wealthy, but $1 billion,
for a golf.
Is that-
and he knocked it
golf.
back.
Crazy.
That's huge, actually. I did
Yeah.
not know that because
No,
not only is
great
Tiger
stat.
Woods one of the best golfers of all time, I mean, the amount of success he's had along with the brand of Nike.
Yeah.
He is a brand, Tiger Woods. I
He
mean, look at
is, he
his
is.
kid. What's the kid's name?
Charlie.
Charlie.
I mean, they're just going to have golfers for the next few generations. But
Yeah, well, they're
And
set
it's-
up.
that is something I didn't know about that the PGA should really plug. I feel you
Yeah.
know, like one of our best players, if not the best player of all time, stood by PGA, even
Yeah.
though offered all that.
I have
money.
a prediction that they'll combine in the future. Live Golf and PGA.
They
You
might
reckon?
have to.
Or do you think
Is there?
LIV Golf will buy out PGA?
No, I don't think. I think what's going to happen is there's 2 major leagues, and that's what it's going to be for a long time now. There's always been one. I don't think LIV can buy out the PGA, and I don't think PGA is ever going to accept something like
I
that.
think-
It's either
So
going to be one or the other, and
I
you
think
have
they'll
to join
merge
that
back.
or that.
Goody, I'm the CEO of LIV Golf, and you're the CEO of PGA, and I've come to you and I'm going, look, let's work something out. What would it take for it to be worked out? What do you think, if we were in those two
I think
positions,
you'll go back to the PGA.
what do you think would need to happen for them to not join, but to work it out between the players? Because at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but this white collar corporate, whatever's going on, it's affecting the game, it's affecting the players and the support.
Well, I think-
and the pathways and everything. You could have an 18-year-old young golfer that's playing, he's trying his best to get into the PGA, and then LIV Golf sees him as a potential, signs him
On more money.
on more money, but then he wants to go play the PGA because his destiny or his goal is to play PGA, and PGA have turned around and said, no, we're not taking you. Now he's a 19-year-old kid who will never play in the PGA, or because he was spotted and not poached, but
Haynesy,
he
I'm
was,
going to cut you off. I know the answer. The way this is going to work is, you're either going to have the PGA or LIV. There's that many golfers around the world that want to be a professional that they're never going to run out of players. And ultimately, to me, it comes down to the players. What do the players want? Obviously, every player has ever dreamed of playing a major or just playing a certain tournament they've always wanted to play. All right, cool. They've done that. They'll go and join the team comp of LIV Golf. Now, there's just going to be players coming in left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
There's just that many golfers around the world that are professionals and want to be professionals that
Yeah.
I don't think they're ever going to have to mix.
At the end of the day, it's golf wins. You got two
Yeah.
competitions.
I
You know
think
what it
it's
is?
fantastic for the sport.
This is test. We're talking about.
Yeah.
It's similar like Test cricket and the IPL coming in. That's what this is. Like the amount of money that the. I mean, I've watched a bit of LIV Golf on TV, and I'm not going to argue.
Where do you watch it?
It's 50 times more exciting to watch in a PGA game.
What was
Yeah.
Where do you watch LIV Golf?
it? 7+
You know,
here in Oz.
You've
But
got-
you can. I don't think you can watch it on Foxtel yet.
they've got DJs. Like guy got a hole in one. There's beer spraying everywhere. You know, it just does not happen on the PGA Tour. If anything, no offense, you got to do the polite. Like, what's going to be more exciting to watch?
Well, that's the
But
thing.
Golf does win, and it's just like Test cricket will never die in certain countries. It has died in others. But it's like watching Australian Boxing Day test, but then also watch your Australian captain go earn
Millions.
millions in the IPL. At the end of the day, the sport wins. And I think, obviously, they've just got to make sure they don't get ugly between LIV Golf
Yeah,
and
And
the
that's
PGA.
what I'm saying. Is it what's going on at the moment? Is it affecting the sport?
Yes,
I think a little bit.
Yeah.
It's unclear at the moment, but I think it ultimately should come down to the players and what the players want. I think the PGA needs to step back and let the players decide what they want to do. I don't think they're ever going to run out of players that want to play. I know they're worried about losing big names, but I think if they can both agree on, hey, look, we've got our 4 major tournaments and we've got our tournaments, I think they should be able to swap in and out and have a schedule.
Yeah.
Well,
Has
they've
it-
done
has it-
that. They've done that with the 4 majors. So the Masters, the US Open, the British Open. They can all LIV golfers can play in that competition. I think there's one more.
Yeah, or
What's the-
Neiman's playing in the
What's
Players'
the
Championship
4th
this week.
major? Is that it?
Oh, sorry, no, he's playing in the Augusta, sorry.
Yes, all
Next
the big
month, yeah.
all the big LIV golfers will play the Masters. You John Rahm,
Yeah.
Cam Smith,
Yeah.
Joaquin Neiman.
And sorry, we
Bryson
kind of got a
DeChambeau.
little bit.
Sorry,
sidetracked. No,
mate.
that's all right. It's all good. Talking about Cam Smith on the weekend, man was, I think, 6 under on day 3, comes back, ties it at 13 under, goes to a playoff hole between Abraham Ansah and Paul Casey. And man, it was a sight to behold. I was at X Golf having a hit after work, and
Beautiful.
I was just trying to back him home, but I think he 8-ironed it straight into the bunker and had a chip out to equal par, and he lost it on that one. But he brought back his old form, which is great. This week we've got the Players' Championship, which is playing at TPC Scottsdale, the famous 17th hole over the water.
Yep.
For anyone who does know that, but it's it's just one of those holes that when you think of golf, that's what you think of, and it's a little short par 3, but yeah, it's awesome. And then a little bit more kind of golf, Lachie.
Yep.
Me and you, mate.
we did.
couple
we
weeks
played some
ago.
golf.
We what are we up to? Round 2 between each other. Round 3.
3.
Round 3.
3.
Lachie got the better of me the first time. Shouted him some dinner.
And then I got a better of him on the 3rd time. So it's 2-1 to me.
Yes, best.
2-1.
5.
Boys, I
10.
haven't played golf since the longest day.
Yeah, you need to get back on
Well,
the course.
this Sunday what's happening?
I haven't played golf before I went to the US, and that was like 3 months ago.
Yeah, because
4
you
months
missed
ago.
out on our day because you.
Yeah, I wasn't invited. Nah, I was,
A big one.
I was out of the country.
A big one for the PGAs. They have Leo, I think, is one of the most exciting golfers going around. So if they can keep players like him,
What
they'll
is
keep their
100%.
entertainment.
what's Tiger's kid playing in?
He's not on the professional tour.
No, he's not.
not.
Why can't he be on the PGA yet?
Because
Because he's not good enough.
yet.
Oh, really?
He shot an 80.
He certainly looks good enough for the TikToks that I'm
I think
watching.
he is. He's not. I think people overestimate his performances because if you
I
actually
don't
look at
shit
how
on
he
him, mate.
does,
Come on.
he's actually
He's honestly he
one of the
plays
better juniors in the
he plays
US.
better when he plays with his dad in those duo
So
tournaments.
is that a competition? Like,
It's like an exhibition round.
yeah,
oh,
an
is it? So
exhibition
it's not
tournament.
part of like PGA or anything.
No.
Like,
So all the best players from the PGA have, like, you know, they have families and that sort of thing. They've raised their sons or their daughters. They'll play with their son, with their father, and it'll just be like an exhibition event. It's kind of just a draw card to see the next up and coming.
why can't we make it an event? Let's us make us the event. Coastal
Who
Crew.
does more? Sorry, who does more team events? Is it PGA?
Live.
Or Live.
Live.
See, that is growing. That
Yeah.
team environment
the
is
players love
growing.
it.
Yeah,
All the
golf-
players love the Ryder Cup because
Yeah.
it's a team event.
I love watching team golf because just to have the boys and girls just celebrate around each other, they go off the charts. You know, someone does a bad shot, is it the next person can help them out? Like, I mean, that's how
what's
I
great
prefer
about the Ryder
golf.
Cup, and that's
Yeah.
what Liv has.
Wasn't there a tournament where the girls were versing the boys?
That
The
wasn't
Uh,
men
no,
and the
no.
women.
That wouldn't have
they
been
were
an
they were
official
in they were in direct competition for.
Yeah.
I think it was
I
with
don't know.
Liv.
I've been watching a fair bit of the
Yeah.
ladies PGA. They're bloody good. Really, really good. Well, I mean, I've just been heavy into golf, you know. I can't help it. But
So what did you just have like at home? So do you just have the, you know, the Fox? You know, it's got golf on all the time. Do you
Yeah.
just have it on like 24/7?
pretty much.
Like, do you go to
Well,
bed
you
watching
think
it,
about
wake up, eat your cereal? You know,
I
watching-
mostly work nights.
Yeah.
And so when I wake up, I just put the PGA on.
And
Oh,
Goody,
right.
Just sits
It's
there
like
all
with
day.
me.
For our
It's like
listeners
with
as
me,
well.
360.
yeah, for our listeners as well, Goody he loves golf so much. He's got his membership with the Victoria Park driving range. Shout out. We'll
Yeah,
have to
big
get
shout out,
someone
big
on-
shout out.
And he's got a job at X Golf as well. So pretty much your life is golf.
Pretty much.
How good?
Mrs. hates it.
No, it's all right. She'll deal with it. She'll be
How for someone who's never done X Golf,
Yeah.
like the simulator,
Yeah.
do you feel like you're playing the real thing?
Your
or-
boss is listening.
Yes, and I mean, it's hard to say. It's not,
Yeah.
but I've definitely seen playing it compared to outside how much it's helped me.
Like if I
And-
shank it right, is it going
No,
straight up the fairway?
No, it's high tech
Well,
equipment that
I'm not gonna play then because I wanted to shank it and go straight up the fairway.
No, it's
False hope, mate.
yeah.
It's good fun. There's almost 50 courses to play around the world.
That's sick.
A few Korean courses on there, which are beautiful. Love to go to Korea and play.
You know what
Come
we're
on
gonna
next
do?
weekend.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna reach out to your partner Tueri, and we're gonna say, hey, we had a really good chat with Goody today. We know he's works in golf. He watches it. He plays it. Man is just a walking golf person. I'm gonna say that you've committed 2 nights a week to. Whether it's shopping or getting your nails done, something to give back, mate. Does she like any other sports? Is there anything she's into?
She grew up playing basketball.
Perfect.
She loved it. She loves watching it. A
Front
bit
row
of soccer
seats,
as well.
sports games.
She likes soccer.
Yeah.
Not much else really. Yeah, just those two.
What do you think about basketball and soccer, Goody?
Mate, look, I've always been, I'm going to be honest, I've always just loved what I play and what I watch and never really given anything else a chance.
Yeah.
But
So you haven't got an open mind, is it?
Yeah.
I've been to a basketball game live back in Rocky. Absolutely enjoyed it, watching it. It was real thrill.
15 people there.
No, it was about 400 actually.
It was a local. And they all had NRL jerseys on.
They're playing half court.
It's starting to make a lot of sense here. Goody is all for Thursday night footy, so he doesn't have to go out shopping on the Thursday.
Hey, there we
Hey,
go.
shopping doesn't bother me, brother. Shopping doesn't
No, but at
bother
least
me.
you love soccer, right? You're talking it up today. You're talking
Yeah,
how
I
much
mean-
you love your soccer and how hard they are and how good they are on the field.
No, they 90
really-
minutes, mate. 90 minutes is a long time to play. I honestly
It's
wish
an extra
rugby
10
league would
minutes,
play
mate. Like, just
that.
relax.
Hey. 80 minutes, 90 minutes. It's fair chunk there, plus
10
extra
minutes,
time.
mate. Just
Come on,
relax.
mate. It's
So realistically, almost 2 hours.
And
if
they
you
don't
put it that way.
dive.
Yeah.
Do they, Goody?
No, mate. No.
And they've got the biggest shin pads in the world.
Oh, mate. Honestly, I don't think they need shin pads.
Come on,
I
mate.
think they should just
Who's tougher,
get
mate?
on the field and play.
Yeah,
Who's
Who's tougher?
tougher? A guy in the Premier League or a female in the Premier League, or would you rather watch a bit of rugby league players out on the field? Who's tougher?
I'm going to be honest. I'll just
Golfers,
prefer
mate. The mentality.
golf, man. Golf's where it's at. Nah. But anyways, I think that's enough golf chat. over to you, Lachie.
So, cheers for that. We're always going to keep you updated on the golf. Matt and I are still getting a bit more educated on it all. I think we've seen a bit more of the LIV Golf.
Yeah.
But like I said, I love that team demographic. I love both. The PGA is a huge brand. I mean, who hasn't ever, like, I know I'm someone who just, as soon as the PGA game came out on, like, Xbox or PlayStation, I mean, who's played that?
Mate, I've got PGA 2K23, so does Matt. It's a great
How
game.
good's that? He watches it. He watches it, he works in it, he plays it on the field, and when he gets home, he gets it on the
Frothing it, eh? Frothing
It's been tough for me because I love playing golf, but I don't like watching it. But now, LIV Golf is actually making it interesting.
And you know what's going to make it even more interesting? A couple of weeks' time, LIV Golf are heading to Miami.
Oh.
That's going to be a party. Now, if you've ever heard a party, you got to watch that
Has
one.
LIV Golf come out to Australia?
Yeah, Adelaide's
Adelaide.
the big, which is a bit of a shithole. If you're going to go anywhere, why do you go to Adelaide?
Shout out to our South Australia.
Shout out to the church.
LIV Golf makes it to Cairns. Let's go.
But
It'd be better than Adelaide.
I reckon we should get it out to Alice Springs. What do you reckon?
Should we launch a campaign
Get LIV Golf to the Goldie. How good would that be?
Oh,
for Gold Coast?
let's
just
put
Should we make a campaign?
Yeah.
Should we put forward a proposal to the government and to LIV Golf? Who do you talk to?
Get
at
all
LIV Golf?
30
No,
signatures.
Greg Norman, mate.
You're our chairman, Goody.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
Ex-golf part-time.
Cam Smith, he's from Brisbane.
Yeah.
Just get in contact with Cam Smith.
Yeah,
No,
Cam
honestly,
Smith, mate, yeah.
Goldie, I reckon that'd go off.
Yeah, that would
100%.
absolutely pop up. But so LIV Golf in Miami in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, a couple of weeks. I think it's 2 or 3 weeks' time.
That's
It's
huge.
just before Augusta, so which is on April 11th.
Yeah.
Who's your
So
pick to win the Masters?
I'm just going to go out and just go on a limb, say Cam Smith.
I'd love an Aussie to win it.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
love
he's
Wisdom.
just found form again. I
Like,
think he can propel.
I think
I think
what
world number one.
what Australians do really, really well is backing their countrymen when they're overseas or countrywomen.
100%.
Like no one like
Particularly in individual sports.
yes. So like when what's his name? Cameron Smith is playing. Like no one knows what's going on until he's playing, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Cameron Smith won the tournament on the weekend."
It reminds me of
When Adam Scott
not
won.
golf, but
Adam Scott. Oh, I
remember-
love Adam Scott. He's good.
this is a different sport, but it
Yeah.
reminds me, you're exactly right. I was so behind Ash Barty in that
Oh,
Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the whole country was just
But even when
watching.
she played in the Australian Open, like
Yeah.
everyone was around her and just backing her, just to
Yeah.
get the job done.
Like
Has
I
anyone seen the Demons in the top 10 in the world now? I think he's probably the first Australian in
yeah,
a
I've
long
seen that.
time to do that in
Yes.
the
Oh, wow.
men's rankings.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Like,
So
I-
good.
So we're getting a bit sidetracked. Oh, we're done, guys.
Cool
Sorry.
episode.
Keep
Sorry.
smiling, keep swinging, keep it on the fairway.
Good
You
on
have
you,
to
lot.
cut that.
yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
What is it?
Keep swinging, keep swinging. It doesn't have to be, but keep swinging, keep swinging.
Anyways, that has been the Coast Crew podcast. Thank you for listening. We will catch you next week. Keep swinging, keep smiling, and Bailey, keep it on the fairway. my brother. We'll see you then.
No. Oh, what?
Guys, thanks.
You're kidding me.
Guys, thanks for listening.
You know.
Keep smiling. Keep it on the fairway and go golf. Go golf. Golf is the winner. Golf. I can't talk like I'm working to go.
Oh.
You boys need to read a book. Fuck me.
Lachie MacArthur, you do it the best. Come on.
Someone sign it off.
Oh, we're not done.
No, because you start the
Okay.
sign off, and then we all join in. That's how we do it.
Take care of stuff you got on TikTok.
All right, ready?
That,
I don't know what they did.
Okay, ready?
that's next week's potty.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Keep swinging, keep smiling, and keep it on the fairway.
See you later. Boys up.
See you guys. Boys are.